Nishtha. Now, over and above these two symptoms, there is one very, very important symptom, and that is fixed determination in chanting Hare Krishna. That you're always chanting. You like to chant. You like to chant Hare Krishna. Then this is the test of steadiness. There is a verse in the Skanda Purana, Kalikala Kusarpasya Tikshnadanksha Syama Mayam Govindanamadhanena Dakto Yas Yatibas Matam. Have no fear of the sharp-fanged serpent of the Kali age. Apply to him the name of Govinda, and he will be burnt to ashes. And so, yes. So when we come to the stage of Nishtha, we unfailingly chant our prescribed number of rounds without offense. So there's the catch. No offenses, please, when you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, from Bhajan Rahasya, we can hear the results. What happens if you chant at the level of Ruchi? So we're going to go back and forth, Nishtha and Ruchi. We'll talk about both of them. So the symptoms from Bhajan Rahasya, first of all, is you will have unlimited desire to hear and chant about Krishna. Nobody can stop you. All day long, all night long, you'll be chanting and hearing. So that is Ruchi, taste. All false identity of your body as yourself is destroyed. All obstacles are destroyed. You will have no more obstacles. Even if obstacles come, you will see them as opportunities for advancing in Krishna consciousness. And the last thing that will happen to you when you get Ruchi is that Krishna will steal your heart. So Satchidananda Swami gives us a prayer. I pray, wherever I may be, I will be counted as one of your devotees. I'm not the best devotee. I want to serve even the new devotees. And so, yes, sometimes desires come, material desires, old desires. At that time, humility increases because we think, oh, I wasn't as pure as I thought I was. Look at all these desires. So then you get more of Krishna's mercy. And so the Ruchi, the taste will come. And just like the Ganga, whatever is in the way will be washed away. So, yes, Narada Muni, he experienced this in his association with the Bhaktivedantas. We also got the association of the Bhaktivedantas, and we were like Narada Muni, born not even in Shuddha families, but even worse. So that we got the mercy of Krishna. So devotion that it possesses nishtha, or firm commitment, undeviating faith, is known as nishtita bhakti. When we are in the stage before anartha nivritti, then these anarthas persist, even we try to counteract them. So there are 5 internal obstacles. These undermine our attempts to reach to nishtha. So we can look at the JPEG on anartha nivritti now that we had last week. So once the anarthas are removed, then these 5 obstacles are almost abolished, and devotion becomes firm and undeviating. So when these 5 obstacles are gone, these 5 impediments, then we have symptoms of nishtita bhakti. So it's on the right side now. We heard the left side. That was anishtita bhakti. Now what's stopping us from getting to nishtha is here on the right side. And the first one at the bottom is loya, which means sleep. We're sleepy during class. We're sleepy during kirtan. We're sleepy. Kirtan, usually we don't fall asleep. But definitely when we chant japa, we may feel sleepy. And in the old days, devotees were not getting enough sleep. And I remember when my dear godbrother, Giriraj Maharaj, he was chanting, standing up, and he fell right flat on the ground while he was chanting. And many devotees, that happened. They would be chanting, standing up, but they were so sleepy that they would fall down. And one time, one devotee in Los Angeles, he was working 20 hours a day to what do you call it, when you fix up the temple, to renovate the temple. So Prabhupada was asking, is everybody chanting their 16 rounds? And he said, no, I cannot chant because I'm busy working 20 hours a day. So Prabhupada told him, okay, then don't sleep. So this devotee, he took it to heart, and he was chanting. He was only sleeping 2 hours a night, and he would chant in the shower so he wouldn't fall asleep. He would just turn on the shower of the cold water and chant his 16 rounds like that. And he got a great mercy of Prabhupada. One time he was in India with Prabhupada, and they went to some life member's house, had a program. And Prabhupada saw in the class, this devotee is so tired. He said, just go and rest. Go in the room and rest. The devotee was resting. And then in the middle of his rest, he heard someone come in the room and take the bed next to him. And it was Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was sleeping in the bed next to him. So that was the reward he got for not sleeping. So yeah, laya, sleep. Sleep is a problem. Vikshepa, distraction. And I think one of the big distractions is the cell phone, because it can bring us out of our japa to go and see what that little ring was. What was that little bing? It might be something important. So yeah, that has happened to me too. Apratipati, the middle one, means disinterest. So even if you're not sleepy, even if you're not distracted, you're still not interested in chanting. Oh, chanting. Why should I chant? So that's apratipati. We're not interested in chanting and hearing. Kashaya means bad habits, anger, greed, arrogance. During devotional activities, we get angry at some devotee or something like that. And that is what Narada Muni, when he was wandering, after his mother died, he was wandering in the forest, and he got darshan of the Lord for a few minutes, and then the Lord went away, and he said, because you have this kashaya in your heart, you will not see me again in this life. And so kashaya, that is the fourth thing. And then one time Bhavananda asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I'm so lusty, my eyes go everywhere. Prabhupada said, oh, that means you're going to go blind? And Bhavananda said, blind to material nature, I hope, Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, no, blind. So watch out. Don't get distracted with your eyes. So the last one, Rasa Svad, taste for sense pleasure. You're so attached to enjoying, you meditate on it, then you can't hear and chant with concentration. So you're thinking of enjoying. So when these obstacles are removed, you can make progress towards Nishtha, or steady devotion. And then the immediate effect you will feel, you're no longer ruled by anger, greed, like this verse said, Tarada Justamo Bhava, no lust or anger or greed. Modes of passion and ignorance are gone, or they are not controlling you. So are they completely finished? We did hear in verse 18, almost gone, almost always gone, the lower modes. But sometimes they are still there in a neutral state until we get to bhava. It may still be lingering in our heart. So we have to keep working on it. We have our false identity, and this false identity creates anxiety. So it's really a relief to be insignificant. You have no problem. If you're insignificant, you have insignificant problems too. And when the devotee said to Prabhupada, oh, I'm your insignificant servant, but I have big problems. No problem. Your problems are also insignificant. You are insignificant. So yes, pretending, if we pretend to be something we're not, then we get anxiety. So now we're going to look at this verse, Chaitanya Dasamui. Chaitanya Das. You can show that verse on the screen. We have so many relationships, family, friends, work, but actually we only have one relationship, and that is with Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. Who is Krishna? So this verse was spoken by Advaita Prabhu, and he was explaining what is his relationship. So we can see this verse. It's the first one up there. So I will say that verse, and then you can see the translation. Chaitanya Das Samui Chaitanya Das Chaitanya Das Samui Tara Das Ser Das. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya, a servant of Lord Chaitanya. I am a servant of Lord Chaitanya and a servant of his servants. So that is our relationship. Our spiritual relationship, our most important relationship is that. Okay. So sometimes when we're chanting japa, we go to other relationships besides this one. So you can try and exercise that when you chant japa, bring your mind back, try to remember this verse. Oh, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, so we'll do this other verse later on. And when we find out what is our goal of life and what is our salary as devotees. What will we get? What will be our salary in devotional service? Okay, I would like to give you some the Namabhasa stage. We'll realize Krishna and his name are non-different. This is the stage of Nishtha. And there are 7 results when you come to this level of Namabhasa. First, you will have firm faith. Second, your sinful reactions will be finished. Third, you'll be liberated from the effects of Kali Yuga. So no COVID for you. This is a Kali Yuga disease. Kali Yuga disease. Not for devotees. And 4, disappearance of fear and advent of peace. You'll be fearless when you come to this stage of chanting and Nishtha. And 5, you'll be protected from ghosts and even bad planets. Even Rahu and Ketu will not disturb you anymore. You'll be protected. And you won't have to go to the astrologer ever again once you get to this level of chanting. 6, you will get Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, all 4. Your religiosity, you'll be a very religious person. You'll get all the sense gratification you want. You'll get all the money you want, and you will get all the liberation as well. So this is by chanting this level of Nishtha, and you will get Ananda. You will get happiness, very much happiness, as this verse said. And what we need to do, what does this mean? It means you have to come to the level of sattva gun, goodness. Passion and ignorance are the modes that will be under control, and you will be in goodness. So there is a word that summarizes the mode of goodness. And this same word summarizes the whole Ayurvedic medicine. There is one word in English which can summarize the mode of goodness and all of Ayurvedic medicine. Can anybody tell me on the chat what that word is that summarizes the whole Ayurvedic, the whole Ayurveda? It's a big Veda. And then there's the mode of goodness too. And this one word is the essence of goodness and the essence of Ayurveda. So, and if any of you are Ayurvedic doctors, you'll get the answer. No, nobody. Okay. The word is balance. When the modes are balanced, you are in goodness. When the doses are balanced, you are a healthy person. Balance. So goodness means balance, that we need to follow that verse in Gita, that you have to balance your eating, sleeping, working, and recreation. So Chitta Ita Arnavitam. So right now, passion and ignorance pierce our hearts. But when we become Krishna conscious up to Nishtha, then these lower modes will not pierce our hearts anymore. No more piercing. And then you become in goodness. And when you become in goodness, what's the symptom? You're always happy. So if somebody is always happy, they're in the mode of goodness. That's a symptom of goodness. Knowledge and happiness. These are the two symptoms. You'll never be morose. So let's go back to the verse 1 to 19, the purport. You can show it on the screen if you're still there. Are you there? Yes. You can show, yeah. Okay, we're going to the purport in the first paragraph. A living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. The state of existence is called Brahmabhuta or Atmanandi, or the state of self-satisfaction. The self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. Just like a cat and dog are sitting silently, very good men, that kind of inactivity is useless. Oh, that's not the, well, I think I went into Prabhupada's lecture here. We don't have that, that's not in the purport. Okay, all right, so some of the purport was there. Rather, one who is a devotee is very active to serve Krishna. Okay, so why are we always in lamentation and hankering? Because mode of ignorance means lamentation. You're lamenting for the past. Mode of passion is you're hankering for the future. Past and future. And goodness is present. So if you're in the present, then you'll be happy. If you're in the mode of goodness in the present. So at that time, tada means at that time, beginning of this verse. At what time? What time? When you have become a true Brahmana. Brahmana is in the mode of goodness. So that was Prabhupada's purpose, to bring people to the Brahminical platform. So another way to look at that time is Srila Prabhupada has given us a sentence. Now I will devote my life to Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was talking to Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and he told Maharaj, you have spent billions of lifetimes in sense gratification, so just give this one life to Krishna. And if you want, you can have a billion more lives in sense gratification. So this is Nishtha. I will give this one life to Krishna. And then you can be satisfied. Sitam sattve prasidati, can be happy. So how this will happen, the modes of passion and ignorance are broken up. There's no more piercing. And when you hear Bhagavatam and Hare Krishna mantra, actually. So we'll go to the verse 1 to 20 now. And this will be more up to the Ruchi stage. So you can put 1 to 20 on the screen. Share that. 1 to 20. Evam prasana manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangha sajayate. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlightened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. So now we get the knowledge, now we apply the knowledge. Prasana manasa, mind, manasa is prasana, is very happy. Brahmabhuta prasanatma. And this is all happening in the heart. Everything's happening in the heart. The heart is not being punctured by passion and ignorance. In verse 17, the Lord in our heart is cleaning when we chant. Verse 18, almost all the dirty things are gone. Verse 19, lust and greediness are gone. And now we're very joyful. We've become joyful. And we understand the purpose of life. We're understanding what is God. So Evam Prasana. Okay, let's go a little bit to the purport. I don't know exactly where this is. Okay, go down more. Okay, slowly. Oh yeah, it's okay. That's paragraph. Go up a little. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The third line. And as soon as one understands he has nothing to do with matter, he at once ceases his material hankerings and becomes enlivened as a spiritual being. That's all. The disease is over, the fever is gone, just that one sentence. He becomes a Brahmana by qualification. So enlivened is a spiritual being. Yeah. So by Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, you become happy, joyful. So Rupa Goswami says, Utsaha, we have to be very enthusiastic. Just like when I visited Jaipur, Radha Govinda temple, people were going to Mangal Arti, running down the street, shouting, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. They couldn't wait to see the deities. 1,000 people singing a Mangal Arti, can you imagine? Of course, in Mayapur you get that. And Vrindavan also sometimes. Well, yeah, this is enthusiasm. This is enthusiasm. Prabhupada said, they're not sleeping very nicely. That means lack of Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga. It is Maya. You must be very careful. If you rise early in the morning, if we cannot rise early, we're under the clutches of Maya. He said this is the test. So taste, Ruchi. Ruchi is there in all of the levels, even at the beginning in Sraddha, because without taste, we cannot continue. And what is the function of Ruchi before we come to the level of Ruchi? There are two things that Ruchi does for us. Number one, it fortifies our faith and intelligence and helps us to resist temptation. So that's the first thing. The taste that we have before we come to Nishtha and Ruchi, before we come to taste, before we come to the level, we get a little taste here and there. And that makes our faith and intelligence strong, and we can resist temptation. So the second thing that this taste does for us before we get to that level, it destroys our ignorance. So that taste destroys our ignorance, our different attachments. That taste, well, and that's what Gita says, Vishaya Vivartante, that by having a higher taste, then we can resist temptation. So spiritual taste, it gives us spiritual pleasure. Param Dishvar. It purifies our vision. It helps us endure the urge for sense gratification without succumbing to it. So sometimes, even in unsteady devotional service, you get this taste, and it fixes our consciousness. But sometimes our absorption goes down, and then we lose the taste again. So we have to faithfully and patiently keep on trying, keep on chanting. Now, what are the symptoms of taste at the level of Ruchi? All impediments to chanting and hearing are no longer visible. What are these impediments? Like fatigue, hunger. It doesn't stop us from our chanting. And the second thing, that a symptom of Ruchi or taste, is insatiable appetite for even seemingly insignificant devotional practices. Watering that Tulsi plant sends us into ecstasy, and we have such a taste. Chanting our rounds, singing Mangalarti song, worshiping the deity, offering prasadam, it makes us so happy, and we have an insatiable appetite to do these things all the time. So Narada Muni in Bhagavatam tells King Prachana Barhi that, my dear king, in the place where pure devotees live, following the rules and regulations, thus purely conscious and engaged with great eagerness in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, in that place, if one gets a chance to hear their constant flow of nectar, which is exactly like the waves of a river, one will forget the necessities of life, namely hunger and thirst, and become immune to all kinds of fear, lamentation, and illusion. So devotees who have this taste at the level of Ruchi, sometimes they're so absorbed in chanting and hearing, they lose track of who they are even. They forget their identity here. And they're just so in the chanting. So, yes, but sometimes false ego is there. How do we see the false ego in this level? Is that we're attached to the happiness of devotion. we get attached to feeling happy all the time. And the second, we may commit offenses, and there will be unwanted habits as a reaction to those offenses. So what happens after Ruchi? We'll go to show Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 21, and see what happens after Ruchi. And share the screen on 1, 2, 21, please. Bye, Hari. Yes. Good. Vidyate hridaya grantis chityante sarv sangshaha kshiyante chas karmani dishta eva anishre. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Okay. Now we have a knot in the heart. There is a word for it in Sanskrit, and there's 2 words for it in English. Who can tell me what that knot is? You can do on the chat.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Granthi?
What did you say? Hridaya Granthi. Yeah, that's a Sanskrit word, but there's another, only one Sanskrit word. Now that's 2. We want 1 word now, looking for. You can, I don't have chat open, so I can't see it. So you might have to, let's see. Oh, there's chat.
Kunta.
Huh?
Kunti.
Kunti. Oh, that's like a knot. That's the knot. Okay.
I thought Kuntha was anxiety. No?
Oh, Kunta. Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know if there might be another one. Anyway, here's the word. It's ahankara.
Oh, okay.
That's the knot. And we'll see that in the purport. Okay. This is where matter and spirit are tied together. This ties matter and spirit together. This ties body and soul together. Ahankara. It's the knot, which ties material and spiritual together. Right. So nobody has ventured an answer here on chat. Okay, that's okay. I give you the answers. No, Kardama was telling Devotee that your son will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. And yes, here is called, in this purport, we have Indu's answer, Hridaya Granthi, knot of the heart. That's very good. Again, in...
I have it, so I identify with it.
You have experience. You have experiential knowledge. Okay. So with this knot, Prabhupada has quoted a verse from Rishabdev, 5th canto, that we are tied up in knots. We have house and family, children, husband, wife, land, so many things. So this is our knot. These are our knots. And how to cut this knot, it requires spiritual instruction. So liberation means simultaneously cultivating Krishna consciousness and giving up the anarthas. So there's two tracks. We're doing the positive and we're doing the negative, avoiding offenses and chanting Hare Krishna. So when we do this, our sinful reactions will be taken away. And Prabhupada gives an example of chickpeas. Yeah, oh, you got it in the purport. This knot is called ahankara. Yes, knot is called ahankara. Yeah, we're going to get into the purport also. So, Chianti chas karmani, chickpeas. If you plant a chickpea in the ground, it will become a flower and become a plant. But the same chickpea, if you fry it in the frying pan, then it will not fructify. So our karma should be fried by devotional service. We should fry up our karma by chanting and hearing and doing devotional service. So now we're going to look at this purport. If you had a video camera and you could see in your heart, this purport is going to tell us what you will see. Let's see. In the Bhagavad-gita 10:11, which paragraph 2. Can you go to paragraph 2? You see paragraph 2. Yeah, there one. Okay, there we go. In the Bhagavad-gita, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his pure devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within the heart of a devotee. So, did you know you have a light switch in your heart? And Krishna is going to switch on the light. So that's the first thing that happens when you're becoming free from ahankara. Krishna turns on the light. Therefore, because of the personality of Godheads taking charge of illuminating the heart of his devotee, certainly a devotee engaged in his service and transcendental love cannot remain in darkness. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit down in the same paragraph. Yes, it's a little separated here. This enlightenment, I think so, comes from the Lord. Oh yeah, that paragraph, I'm just going to summarize. If you're submissive, then you get enlightenment. And now paragraph 3, yeah, that's paragraph 3. This enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. You don't have to worry about cutting it. Krishna is going to untie the knot for you if you hear and chant. Hearing and chanting. Krishna will untie the knot. So don't worry. You don't have to do it. This knot is called ahankara, and it falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore, all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. One sees his master and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, making a full termination of the chain of fruitive action. So, yeah. Prabhupada explains in a purport in 6th canto that the Lord is very kind and affectionate toward his devotees. And so a devotee is not subjected to karma. So we don't have to worry. We want the desire to go back to God. It becomes increasingly fervent in the heart. So I can give you 2 examples of fixed Nishtha in some of Prabhupada's disciples. One example is the devotees who went out in book distribution and who are still going out. Here in Alecha, we have devotees who have been going out over 50 years. Prabhupada disciple, they're still going out in book distribution. Adi Karta is one of them, and there's another one. They're still doing it, even though our temple president is very strict about COVID, and she's warning them now, don't be careful when you go out there. You know, she's very, very strict. You have to go in quarantine if you want to visit our temple. If you come from another state, 14 days quarantine, unless you get a negative test. The temple president. Yeah, so she's really, really strict, and that's why we have our temple open here. So the first example of Nishtha was the devotees going out on book distribution in Chicago. Prabhupada gave a class, and Prabhupada was talking about Vishvamitra. He performed heavy tapasya, austerity, for 60,000 years. And Prabhupada said, you can get the same benefit of this tapasya on a few days of Sankirtan. So a few days is equal to 60,000 years of Vishwamitra's austerity. Isn't that great? So you can go out and sell some books, but I don't know how it is now with COVID regulations. Your city, I don't know. So be careful about that. Do it online also. Yes. Now the second service that Prabhupada talked about is the pujari. In Vrindavan, of course, is a whole different scenario. Chicago, all the book distributors are there. Vrindavan, all the pujaris are there. And it was a hard life. And it's still, now it's not so bad. Prabhupada said the highest service that a human being can perform is to be a pujari, because although the pujari has a material body, the pujari serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The pujari wakes the Lord up, bathes, dresses, and feeds him. These are activities of the spiritual world, but the pujari does them in this world. This is the perfection of human life. There is nothing higher than being a pujari. If you are a pujari, you have attained your constitutional position even within samsara. This person is liberated. Now, some of you might have deities at home, and Prabhupada talked about deity worship. He said, you must decorate the deities very nicely. By decorating the deities, you are decorating your heart. If you neglect decorating the deities, you will neglect decorating your heart. Then your heart will become black. And that is why so many have left. So decorate the deities if you have deities. So Ruchi. In one lecture in Bhagavad-gita, Prabhupada says, Ruchi means you'll simply hanker after spiritual things. You won't like to hear anything except spiritual message. You won't like to do anything except spiritual activities. You won't like to eat anything which is not spiritualized. So your life will be changed. And then you'll be happy, ecstasy. And you can talk with Krishna. So Nectar of Devotion gives us a very interesting thing here about Raganuga Bhakti. This is the point at which, this is from Nectar of Devotion chapter 2. By following the regulative principles, one becomes a little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of natural love. For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arti, which is a form of deity worship. In the beginning, by the order of his spiritual master, one rises early in the morning and offers arti, but then he develops real attachment. When he gets disattachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepare different kinds of dresses and thinks of different plans to execute his devotional service nicely. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering the loving service is spontaneous. So this is a lecture in Calcutta. I was there. And actually, this is a lecture on Nectar of Devotion, chapter 2. Very, very nice. Now, I have an example from when Prabhupada was in Juhu, Bombay. There was this one lady who was very close to the devotees. Her name was Mrs. Singhal. She's no longer here. And she used to sing Brijbasi bhajans to the devotees. So one time, Prabhupada was invited to her house. Giriraj Maharaj went, Tamal Krishna went, and they were waiting for her. And she burst into the room with a friend, and she was playing a violin and singing a Brijbasi bhajan. So Tamal Krishna made a face and rolled his eyes. Prabhupada said, this is spontaneous devotion. Said, she is a Vaishnava from birth. You are just beginning to learn how to be a Vaishnava. And so Prabhupada really liked that, that devotion there, spontaneous. He said, this is spontaneous. Yes, so now we talked about our relationship with Krishna. Now we will go to that second prayer, which I gave you for today, because it is the goal. The goal is very important. What is our goal? So, yes, we can say, I'll say that verse. Prema dana vina vyarta daritra jivan das kori betta mori deha prematan. Without love of Godhead, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love of God. So this is our payment for all the service we're doing so many years. We're going to get prema. That's our payment. That's our salary, according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya is telling us he's going to pay us. That will be a salary. So yes, when you chant japa and you're thinking about this, I have to do this, I have to do that, just try to remember this verse. What is the goal? What is the purpose? What should I want to do with my life? Okay, so yes, I will stop here and we can have time for questions, comments, anything. So I will go, to chat. Oh, my chat went away. Oh, it's here. Okay, I know how to do it. Yes. Okay. I see my chat.
Mataji, it'll take me time to chat, like type on the chat.
Yeah, no
so
problem. You can tell me.
Okay. when I hear all the, I understand theoretically that yes, it's important to chant with all attention and, feeling, and otherwise, there are so many offenses. But, after hearing all these offenses, and it's pretty scary. And then I'm wondering, is it, if I'm committing so many offenses, then is there any benefit to my chanting at all? Or,
Yes, even Prabhupada was asked this question. And he said, yes, even offensive chanting is very beneficial. And what he said is that why you should keep on chanting. He said, it's just like when you go to school and you learn how to write. Then you have to practice. You have to keep practicing how to write until you get it perfect. So now we're practicing our chanting. And we have to keep practicing. And by practicing, by being faithful to chant our 16 rounds, then the day will come when we will see some results. Yes, the day will come.
But then how do we understand that if we continue to commit offenses, then there's always the danger of falling also?
Well, the problem with meditating on offenses is that then it's easier to commit them. Because you're meditating on the wrong thing. You need to meditate on the positive alternative to the offense. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm blaspheming, I'm criticizing devotee, you praise the devotees. You appreciate the devotees.
No, my Mamaji, I meant inattentive chanting.
Oh, inattentive. Okay.
Yeah. If I'm continuing to be inattentive, then yeah.
Yeah, that will help, as Prabhupada said, just by practicing chanting. But I do find attentive chanting is very rewarding and very wonderful. You can try, we do in our japa retreats, we try to just concentrate on one mantra at a time. Try to make one perfect mantra. And then you do have some result there. Okay, now the next mantra. Whatever you're doing at the present time, make that perfect. Try to make a perfect mantra. And you may not do all your 16, but at least if you can do one round like that, then you will see an improvement. So don't try to think, oh my God, 16, I got to do without offense. No, just try one mantra. Make one mantra without offense. Make one mantra attentively. And that will help. And you will feel good. Oh, wow, I did one mantra. We only need one mantra, only one Krishna, and one word we only need. Even reading the books, Prabhupada said that with the Krishna book. Said, if you read this one book, he told Shudakirti, you will go back to Godhead. You will be Krishna conscious. You just read one page. You should just read one line. Just read one word. And you will. Yeah, and there was an example. I told the story before about one drunkard. His roommate got a Bhagavad-gita. Some devotee distributed a book to him, and he brought it home, and the drunkard picked it up and read it. He read one line. Oh, the soul is eternal, the body is temporary. He threw the book away. Rubbish. Then he had a near-death experience. He drank too much one day, and he went to the Yamraj. And Yamraj was telling him, so what are you going to do now? And then he said, he remembered that line from Bhagavad-gita. Well, for the soul is eternal and the body is temporary. And he came back to his body. And he, where's that book? Where's that book? He read the whole book, found the address, joined the temple, became a brahmachari. But then, after 6 months, he was not doing well. He thought, oh no, I need a drink. I just need a drink. So he went to the bar, and he was drinking the whole day. Night came, they're closing. And so then the bartender said, we're closing, you have to leave. He said, what are you going to do now? And he got such a fright because that's what Yamraj said. And he ran back to the temple and said, okay, no more. One line of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has said that. Even even one phrase from Bhagavad Gita can save your life. And the one phrase that he mentioned was chapter 2, verse 13. Hanyate hanyamani sharire, that you must change your body. I think that's the verse. Okay, let me check. Yeah, let me check that. I think that was it. Dehi nosmin yata dehe kumaram. No, tata dehantara prapti.
Yeah, that's it.
Tata dehantara prapti tiras
Tatra namuyati.
namuyati. Yeah. So that was the line. Yeah. Change your body. Dehantara prapti. You just know that one word. And the sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, any other questions? No, I'm not looking at. Oh, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Narayani Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Okay.
Thank you for taking us through these stages and wonderful journey. And most of it is theory for us, but yeah, I think we got a glimpse of it and really relished it through your own experience. So I had a question from your own experiences, because I feel whatever you told us, I feel that you have sort of experienced it. And when you were talking about being pujari as the highest service, and we know that you were there in Calcutta temple as pujari, and then you have done so many other services, Mataji, through your Krishna consciousness journey. Did you feel the same way, what you just taught us, that yes, this is the...
Yeah, when I was in Calcutta as pujari, I felt that I could understand the moods of the deity. Like even I could understand how he wanted to be dressed. Like I would just look at him and I would see, oh, there's the earrings, there's the flowers should go here. And he would like show me, I guess. And then one time our temple president was taking pictures of the deities. And he showed me the picture. He said, look, Krishna looks, this was only 1 minute apart, but the face is different. I said, yeah, he's changing every second. He's changing his expression. So yeah, you would get a lot of, and everyone was saying, how can you stay in Calcutta? How can you stay in Calcutta? It's so austere. Devotees would come visiting. And I said, because I'm not in Calcutta. I'm with Krishna. I felt that very much, very strongly, that I was with Krishna. And I had 20 hours seva, 4 hours sleep, actually. That was my for 5 years, my sadhana. And yeah, I had to, anyway, that's how it was. My seva was like that. Because we didn't have so many devotees, so I had to do most of it, a lot of it. So yeah, that's my experiences with the deities. So many experiences. Yeah, with the deities. That they were, everything for me. And when I went back after 40 years, and I asked the deity, do you remember me? Yeah. You get very close to the deities when you worship them and take care of them. It's like, they belong to you and you belong to them. So that, yeah, that taste was there in that time for that service. And then I went to book distribution, and that was also nice. We felt like that was more like Lord Chaitanya's mercy and mood. We felt like, because we were a ladies' party and we were traveling village to village in India, and we didn't know where we were going to eat or sleep or what we were going to eat or anything. It was just like we were just depending on Krishna. And for money, because temple sent us out with no money, just with books up to our neck. I mean, we had to sleep on top of the books in the van. It was a small van, Maruti, and full of books. and I was sleeping on top. We had to distribute to get a seat, you know, in the van. So, and it was a broken down van too. A lot of problems there. But yeah, we then we got a taste for that too, because we were the first devotees that the people saw in Maharashtra, in the villages, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan. So they were, you know, the people were so amazed to see white Vaishnavas, ladies, and they just bought our books, you know. And then after that, I was teaching, and so that's also very nice, because teaching Bhagavatam, you can see Krishna, you can feel the presence of Krishna sometimes when you're speaking. You can feel it, that he's really there, and he's pleased, and he likes you to talk about him. So it's different services, but yeah, that was, and each one has a different kind of ecstasy and happiness, each different service. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking us through your experiential journey, and moving and very sweet, Mataji. Thank you very much for sharing.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam to you, Mataji. I had a question.
Okay.
When you went through your book distribution experience, I'm sure you met many people who were very positive and open, and also the other side of the coin where people might have been absolutely rude and, you know, saying difficult things to you. So how did you overcome the difficult things or the negativity you might have faced during those times? How did you overcome to be able to go on with your service?
Well, I mean, in those times, there wasn't much negativity. I mean, in India, they were very, very welcoming to us, because we were the first ones. You know, they never saw anything like it. They didn't know what it was. So, you know, they were bewildered, and just bewildered. And the price was cheap, Bhagavad-gita for 10 rupees, you know. And I don't remember. The only problem was if we ran out of books, we could start a riot. So what we would have to tell them, we would say, okay, we're going back to our hotel to get more books, and then we'd run out of town, because we didn't have books. We could start a riot. So yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember. One time we did have an Indian driver. We had one devotee male driver, and the problem was our horn wasn't working. So we had this blue light on top, and it sounded like the police siren. So he got arrested because we had that light. So we just bribed the police with a Bhagavad-gita. So, and he let him out of jail. But yeah, I mean, Indian people were very positive for us in those days. Actually, we distributed in the airports, even in the airport in Bombay. I can't remember any really bad.
So this was in Calcutta, you were saying, Mataji? Or
No, this is in Bombay.
Western
Calcutta, I was
Gujarat.
Pujari. Bombay, I was distributing books.
Distributing books. Wow. I thought Bombay also, they were very inimical and very anti-ISKCON, without thinking they are, you know, these are...
Not when we went to the villages. And we were doing at the train stations in Delhi, in Bombay too. People were favorable. They were okay. We didn't get any problem.
Oh, I see. So it was only probably building up the Juhu temple that all the, you know, issues
Yeah,
came
I think
up,
before that it was difficult. But yeah, I mean, the owner was a demon.
I see.
On the land, and the city was against. But after we built the temple, we were very much accepted by the people. And that's when I was in Bombay, after the temple was built.
Okay.
Then I went to Bombay and distributed books for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sarang Prabhu, Lalita, Ladikupal, Akshay, Vikas, where are they?
They went
Sunil,
to
Sunil
Okay,
Prabhu,
one question, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Uh-huh.
about practicing. It's
This is Sarang Prabhu, introduce yourself. Mataji won't know who you are, right?
okay. I'm Saranga Das. I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Miami. Okay.
Not very far from you. 6 hours away. No, 5.5 hours away.
5.5. Okay. Yeah, we're in Alachua.
Yes. Yeah. Practicing and chanting and all this, is very, I won't say easy to do, to start doing, but to sustain.
Yes.
Sustain the quality is not easy. Like you were saying, to try to chant one mantra well, and then while going again or doing anything, even reading, even watching a YouTube video lecture, same thing. When you're in it, you start, it's nice, but then while time is going, your attention goes away.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's what do we do to have this, to sustain that enthusiasm or interest and all that?
Well, you can be introspective and ask yourself, what will motivate me to improve my chanting? What can I do to improve? One thing you can do is the night before, you can decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to chant nicely. I'm going to try and be attentive. So this is what I'm going to do. Maybe you'll put your cell phone in the other room. I don't know what it takes to help you to be attentive. You may have to go do earlier in the morning before your family wakes up. You have to be creative and think what will help you to be not so distracted in your chanting, and will help you. Maybe a picture, maybe Prabhupada chanting with you, different things devotees do to help them be more attentive. Yes. So definitely you need to be introspective and find out what it is that will motivate you to chant attentively.
I think this is a most important aspect in Krishna consciousness, to chant.
Yes.
And also might be the most difficult to really get it.
Yeah, to
I
do
won't
it
say perfect, because we're not perfect in this world, but at least try.
Yeah, and that's what Krishna is looking for. How you're trying. If you're just trying, that will please Krishna. But what can we do? We just have to try to do our best. And you can pray. You can always pray.
Yeah, because we say all the knowledge that we will acquire and everything that we do will, at the end of the day, to improve our chanting.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Listening to okay, me, I will say Prabhupada Leela, Leela, and you are part of those Leela as well. Because that means, hearing these Leela is so sweet. It's like Krishna's pastime for us.
I know. Sometimes even more sweet.
Yeah, I will be honest with you. I prefer to listen to, like Prabhupada memories,
Yes.
I have listened to them for so many times, and it's like nectar.
It is. It is. Yeah, Prabhupada, you can see, because he's our father, so in the children you see a little bit of him. You can see a reflection, and how he related with us, how he related.
Yeah, and then the most difficult part will be, maybe in 20 years we won't have any of
No. We'll all be gone.
Worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I'm Laddu Gopal.
Okay.
Just a question, in your time, like when Prabhupada was here, Actually, the transformation, what we saw, like it was very quick, like, within like 6 months, year, like everyone was
Yeah.
going fast. But now in the time, like we are taking so much time to get that transformation, inner transformation. Maybe outerwards we look like devotee, but inside we are not devotees. Like.
The thing was when Prabhupada was here is that we were all living together in the temple together, all the grihastas, all the brahmacharis, all together in one house. So it was very intense experience. And that's the difference. I mean, one big difference now and then. Now everybody's out in their comfortable homes with their families, which is, I mean, that's, what can we do? That's how it is now. That's congregational now, more than the, monk monastery experience. And somehow Prabhupada just got us all together and, put us like in the pressure cooker. And, and after he left, we all came out. And then many of us went all different directions. But some of us are still here, still trying.
Yeah, just wanted to ask one thing, like, during chanting, like what I do is like, is it okay to like, because you have the Tulsi Mala in hand, so like getting, praying to Tulsi Maharani.
Oh, good. Very good.
Like, rather than, because we don't have a...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's what, it's okay, right?
Oh, it's very good. And another really powerful thing that will help you chanting is to have a Tulsi plant and chant in front of the Tulsi plant. She will help you. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I just have a personal question for you, personal to you. Do you miss Prabhupada sometimes?
To some extent, I miss him, and to some extent, I feel like he is always with me at the same time. He's like a part of me. He's like, whatever I do, it's his things, his chanting, his books, his classes for him. So it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult not to be with him and not to see him. And interact with him. But as the Swami Prabhu was saying, you can feel him with the other devotees, speaking about him. I also like to read about Prabhupada even as much as Krishna or more. I have 2 books now. I have Memories, Volume 5 has come out. New book. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in India, and now I have 5. You can get it online. And Bonds of Love, all the lady disciples, like 300 lady disciples. You can get it also somewhere. Bond of Love, I think is it. Let's see, I have the book here.
And that's by who?
Malachi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, A Bond of Love. It's here. You can probably get it online. It's like 350 ladies all telling their stories of Prabhupada.
Wow.
So it's an amazing book. You never heard these stories before. They're not, most of them are not on the Memories videos. They're just, quiet, hidden ladies. And a lot have left their bodies already, and so they wouldn't make it to the video. Yeah, A Bond of Love. It has an author. I think it's Malachi. It says Srila Prabhupada and his daughters. BWP. I don't think it has an author. Book Rights Press. Yeah, no. You just have to find it in its alphabetical order. All the ladies. It's quite
it's in Amazon, Mataji. I just looked for it. It's available in Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon. There you go. About
$20.
Yeah, so if you're a Prabhupada, like to hear about Prabhupada and very special relationships he had with all the women. And you can get this book and find out.
Are you also there in this book?
Yes, I'm there.
You're there? Oh, nice.
I'm also there. under the letter N. It's alphabetical.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, no, some of them have already left. Aditya has left her body, and Vrindavani from London.
Yeah, but I hope you're not praying that Prabhupada, please take me back. Like Bhakti Charan is praying.
No,
It's
who did that? Bhakti Charan, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I saw that. No, I'm not praying like that.
Don't.
I would like to be here for a little bit longer. I like to finish my book, Bhagavatam at a Glance. So that will take a few more years. And I need to write a book about Prabhupada too, about my experiences. I need to do that.
Yeah, please, Mataji. Please, yes. That'd be really nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, my plan is to stay here for a few more years, but I don't know what is Krishna's plan. Right now, I'm healthy. Health is good. So yeah, could happen. I could stay.
Before you leave, could we have one darshan of Giriraj Maharaj, please?
Oh yeah, sure.
If he's not sleeping.
No, he's awake. I'll bring him. Hold on.
Thank you. Anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, because this is the last of the topics of the three class seminar.
Here we go.
Jai! Hari Bol! Giriraj Maharaj ki jai!
Yeah, he's got his warm clothes. It actually got a bit cool here this morning. 32 it was. Can you believe it?
Oh, that's cold for you. I know.
It got up to 61 though.
Okay, yeah, but still 30 is just cold, yeah.
Yeah, 30 was cold. Gonna get down to 38 tonight, and then.
Very cold.
But it's gonna be warm from Sunday, 70s again.
Yeah, it's going to snow at our end.
I know. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be warm on our weekend. Yeah.